Colin Farrell's portrayal of Oswald Oz Cobb, or the Penguin, in the Penguin TV series has brought new layers to the iconic villain from Gotham City. One of the most striking aspects of this interpretation is Oz Cobb's limp, which stands out as both a physical and symbolic characteristic of the character. Unlike previous versions of the Penguin, who relied primarily on cunning and intellect, Farrell's version brings a much more grounded and painful dimension to the role. The limp not only serves as a painful reminder of his physical struggle, but also contributes to shaping the personality and narrative arc of the character. In The Penguin, Oz Cobb's limp is much more than just a quirk. It is an integral part of his journey, influencing how others perceive him and how he navigates the dark, seedy underworld of Gotham. But why does Oz Cobb walk where Limp in The Penguin? The answer is tied to how the character has been reimagined for Matt Reeves' The Batman universe, which aims to bring more realism and grit to Gotham's familiar faces. In this new version of The Penguin, the limp is not simply a random feature or an artistic choice. Instead, it has been thoughtfully incorporated as a way to ground the character in a more visceral, relatable reality. Traditionally, the Penguin's nickname in the comics comes from his unfortunate appearance and his obsession with birds, especially penguins. He was often depicted as a short, chubby man with a beak-like nose who waddled, which earned him the nickname. However, the Penguin series departs from the comic origin by giving Oz Cobb a club foot, which leads to his painful limp and the signature waddle that the character has in the show. This reinterpretation adds layers of depth to Oz Cobb. His physical pain becomes a constant reminder of the hardships he has endured, symbolizing his struggles to rise through Gotham's criminal ranks. Rather than being a mere eccentricity, Cobb's limp now serves as a more profound metaphor for his resilience and determination to overcome obstacles. It grounds him in a way that previous interpretations of the character never did. Gone is the aristocratic figure. In his place is a man who has had to scrape and fight for his place in Gotham's cutthroat world. Farrell's portrayal of Oz Cobb's limp transforms it into both a source of perceived weakness and a hidden strength. On one hand, his limp causes others to underestimate him. Characters like Sofia Falcone, Kristen Milioti, and Alberto Falcone, Michael Zegan, believe that his physical impairment makes him less of a threat. At one point, Alberto mocks Oz, implying that a handsome guy like him could never command power or respect in Gotham's underworld. This underestimation is precisely what allows Oz to manipulate situations to his advantage, catching his enemies off guard when they least expect it. The limp also serves as a reminder of the challenges Oz faces in his quest to become Gotham's top crime lord. Every step is a struggle, both literally and figuratively. But instead of letting this impairment define him negatively, Oz uses it as fuel for his ambition. His physical pain has shaped him into a tougher, more resilient person, and as viewers, we can't help but respect the way he perseveres through his difficulties. This toughness sets him apart from other versions of the character, where physicality was less of a defining trait. In fact, it's this very limp that helps him gain the respect of those who have also faced hardship. In one notable scene, Oz refuses to take a handicapped seat on the Gotham subway, demonstrating that he doesn't see himself as impaired. His limp is just a part of his everyday life, and he refuses to let it dictate how he moves through the world. This moment earns him the respect of Victor Aguilar Renzi Feliz, a young man initially suspicious of Oz, but who grows to admire him. Oz's ability to overcome his physical limitations resonates with people who have similarly struggled, making him a surprisingly relatable and even sympathetic character. Much of the effectiveness of Oz Cobb's limp can be attributed to Colin Farrell's incredible performance. Farrell, known for his versatility and depth as an actor, fully embraces the physicality of the role. The limp is not just a minor detail. Farrell ensures that it is a visceral, ever-present aspect of Oz's character. Whether he's walking up a flight of stairs or dragging a body across the floor, the limp is a constant reminder of his physical pain and how it has shaped him. Farrell's performance is enhanced by the fantastic prosthetics and makeup work that make the character's limp believable and visually striking. In one particularly poignant scene, Oz removes a brace from his foot, revealing his twisted and conjoined toes, a visual confirmation of his clubfoot condition. The creaking sound of the brace being removed emphasizes the burden he carries with each step. This scene, combined with Farrell's nuanced performance, allows viewers to truly empathize with the physical pain Oz endures daily. It's a powerful moment that adds to the complexity of the character. The makeup and prosthetics work in the Penguin doesn't stop at just making Oz look intimidating. It also contributes to the grounded nature of his limp, ensuring that it feels like a real, painful condition rather than a caricature. This attention to detail is one of the key factors that separates the Penguin from other portrayals of the character in the past. Instead of relying on camp or eccentricity, the show leans into the gritty reality of Oz Cobb's life, making him feel more human and relatable even in his darkest moment. Beyond the physical pain, Oz Cobb's limp carries significant emotional weight. It's not just about the struggle to walk or the burden of wearing a brace, it's also about how the world perceives him because of his condition. Oz's limp makes him a target for ridicule, but it also makes him an underdog in his quest for power. People underestimate him because of his appearance, which only fuels his desire to prove them wrong. In some ways, the limp is a reflection of the emotional scars Oz carries. Just as his foot has been twisted and malformed, so too has his psyche been shaped by the hardships he's faced. Whether it's the loss of his father or the rejection from Gotham's elite, Oz has been scarred emotionally, and his limp serves as a physical manifestation of that pain. It becomes a symbol of both his vulnerability and his resilience, showing that while he may be damaged, he is far from broken. The emotional weight of the limp is further explored in Oz's relationships with other characters. His interactions with Sofia and Alberto Falcone reveal how deeply his limp affects his sense of self-worth. Despite his outward confidence, there are moments when the weight of his physical impairment seems to crack his tough exterior. These moments of vulnerability make Oz a more well-rounded and sympathetic character, one who is not just a villain, but also a deeply flawed and complex individual. Oz Cobb's limp in the Penguin is much more than a simple physical ailment. It is a defining trait that shapes how he interacts with the world, how others perceive him, and how he perceives himself. It serves as both a source of weakness and strength, allowing him to manipulate situations to his advantage while also reminding him of the challenges he has had to overcome. Colin Farrell's masterful performance, combined with the show's grounded approach to the character, ensures that Oz's limp is a central aspect of his identity, making him a more compelling and multidimensional villain. In the end, Oz Cobb's limp is a powerful symbol of his resilience and determination. It shows that, despite the pain and hardship he endures, he is a force to be reckoned with. Far from being a simple quirk or character trait, the limp is a fundamental part of what makes Oz Cobb the Penguin, a villain who is not only feared but also respected in the dark, dangerous world of Gotham.